Let's start with something you already know. People say 3/4 of the Earth is water. That's a lot. Now, imagine focusing on just one of those watery patches. A patch so huge, you can't wrap your mind around it even if you tried. Today, it's all about the Pacific Ocean. The name sounds peaceful, right? Get ready, this ocean is not just big, it's wild, mysterious, and so massive that you'll probably want to check if your jaw is still attached by the end of this video. So, you've heard the planet is mostly water, but have you ever stopped to wonder how much of that is just the Pacific flexing its muscles? Sure, we like to act smart by giving all oceans different names: Atlantic, Arctic, Indian, Pacific, but honestly, it's just one gigantic bathtub sloshing around our continents. Still, today's VIP guest is the Pacific Ocean. Let's roll out the blue carpet. Now, here comes a wild fact. If you took a giant drill and started digging a hole straight down into the Pacific Ocean, say somewhere between Peru and Chile, and you somehow made it all the way through the Earth, where do you think you'd pop out? Surprise! You'd come out the other side, not in someone's backyard in China, but still in the Pacific, close to Vietnam and Taiwan. That's right. The Pacific Ocean is so big, it has its own antipodes. Antipodes are just fancy talk for 2 points on Earth that are exactly opposite each other. You could literally start in the Pacific, travel through the entire Earth, and end up in the Pacific. That's what I call oceanic déjà vu. Let's bring in some numbers. Earth's total circumference is 40,000 kilometers. If you wanted to travel around the whole planet in a straight line, you'd need to cover that distance. But the Pacific Ocean? In some places, the distance across it is half the entire planet. From Indonesia all the way to Colombia, it's almost 20,000 kilometers. That's the widest spot. Let's pause for a second. 20,000 kilometers. In that 20,000 kilometer stretch, you could fit not just one moon, but 5 moons. Even after shoving 5 whole moons in there, you'd still have space left over. That's not an ocean, that's a cosmic parking lot. Next time someone calls the Pacific just water, ask them how many moons they can fit in their backyard pool. Now let's talk about perspective. Why is it so hard to imagine the real size of the Pacific Ocean? Here's why. No matter how hard you try, you can't ever see the whole thing. Even if you stand on the tallest ship, all you get is a curved line at the edge of your sight, the horizon. You look left, you see blue. Look right, more blue. If you're tall, maybe 6 feet, you'll only be able to see 5 kilometers ahead before the Earth curves out of view. That's the universe saying, no spoilers for the rest of the ocean. Now, what if you're like, I'll just go higher for a better view? Good luck. Let's say you're chilling at the height of Mount Everest in an airplane. From up there, you can see about 370 kilometers of ocean. It sounds like a lot, but the Pacific just laughs back. That's like looking at one sprinkle on a giant cake. Even astronauts on the International Space Station, floating 400 kilometers above Earth, can't see all of the Pacific at once. It's like the ocean has privacy settings turned all the way up. Still don't believe it? Let's try Google Earth. Type in Bora Bora, famous for its dreamy blue waters. Now, start zooming out. At first, you see what a drone flying above the island would see. Zoom out more, and you're at airplane height. Zoom out further, and you're at the International Space Station's view. Guess what? Still, the Pacific Ocean refuses to show all of itself. You have to zoom out 10,000 times to start seeing almost the whole thing on your screen. Even then, from a mind-blowing 63,000 kilometers away, you only get to see about 95% of the Pacific. The rest is still hiding. As for land, only about 5% even makes it onto your map at that zoom. The ocean wins. Again. The size of the Pacific Ocean is 165,200,000 square kilometers. Let's break that down. You could take all of North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, Antarctica, and even Greenland. Cram them all in, the Pacific would just yawn and ask for seconds. That's because the total area of all the land on Earth is just 140 million square kilometers. The Pacific Ocean still has room to spare, enough to fit 8 Indias with space for some snacks. And here's a fun twist. Let's forget about Earth for a second. What if we compared the Pacific Ocean to Mars? The whole planet Mars covers about 148 million square kilometers. So, if you somehow poured the Pacific Ocean over Mars, the planet would be buried under hundreds of feet of water. Even those dramatic Mars craters and mountains would just become underwater hills. If aliens are out there, they're probably jealous. We've covered the surface area, but the Pacific isn't just a big blue pancake. It's deep, scarily deep. The deepest point is called the Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench. It's a whopping 11 kilometers down. To give you an idea, if Mount Everest was somehow flipped upside down and dunked into the trench, it would still be nearly 2 kilometers underwater. Challenger Deep is not the only deep showing off in the Pacific. There are 3 more: Tonga Trench, Philippine Trench, and Kuril-Kamchatka Trench. Each one dives deeper than 10 kilometers. The Pacific is like that one friend who's both super tall and can do a split. Time for some wild facts. About 509 years ago, a Portuguese explorer named Ferdinand Magellan sailed across the Pacific. He thought the sea was so calm, he called it Pacific, which literally means peaceful. Clearly, Magellan never met the Pacific during a storm, but let's not judge the man. He didn't have Google Earth. Here's a plot twist. The Pacific Ocean is actually shrinking every year. Yes, you heard right, it's getting smaller. The cause? Underwater tectonic plates are on the move, shifting and bumping into each other, slowly eating up the Pacific's size. But don't worry about it drying up soon. The Atlantic Ocean is growing at the same speed. It's like Earth is playing a game of ocean musical chairs. But there's a catch to all that movement. Most earthquakes and tsunamis? They happen because of these restless tectonic plates at the Pacific's bottom. And you know what else is there? Volcanoes. The Pacific is home to more than 75,000 active volcanoes. You heard right, 75,000. That's like every volcano in the world wanted to hang out at the Pacific's house. The biggest volcano? It's called Havara Seamount, chilling near New Zealand. It's the king of the Pacific's volcanic squad. Now you might be thinking, okay, but what about land? Any cool places to visit? Good news, the Pacific Ocean has more than 25,000 islands scattered across its blue expanse. That's more islands than you could ever visit, even if you quit your job and traveled forever. Some of these islands are so remote, even Google Earth has trouble finding them. Imagine stumbling upon your own private island. Too bad it might take you a month to find it, even with modern tech. Let's pause and zoom out. The Pacific Ocean is more than just water. It's the planet's biggest mystery box. It covers more than all the land combined. It can drown Mars, swallow continents, and hide enough secrets to keep scientists busy for centuries. You can't see all of it from a plane, or even from space. Its deepest spots could swallow the tallest mountains. It throws epic parties for earthquakes and volcanoes, and hosts more islands than you can count. Think you know the Pacific? Not even close. Every time you think you've got its measure, it throws you a new surprise. One day, it's shrinking. The next, it's flexing its volcanoes. It has islands you've never heard of, trenches that would terrify submarines, and enough blue to paint 1,000 Earths. So, next time you look at a map and see that giant blue patch, remember, it's not just water, it's the Pacific, the world's heavyweight champion of oceans. It's so big, so deep, and so full of wild facts that even the best explorers, satellites, and Google Earth combined can't show you everything. Now, if you enjoyed this oceanic roller coaster, share it with someone who still thinks their local lake is impressive. Thanks for watching, and get ready for even more epic adventures with us. The Pacific isn't going anywhere, at least not anytime soon.